The Maximum Happiness and Wellbeing Course, Part 1, Session 8, Know Thyself. Understand the role played by your self-concept and self-esteem in your search for inner happiness. Learn how to recover from low self-esteem and create techniques for building higher self-esteem. Assess your level of self-esteem to identify where you can make adjustments. Know Thyself. What a strange session heading. What's this all about? As we prepare the content for this session, which is centred around our self-esteem, the description actually seems most appropriate. Know Thyself is a philosophical maxim inscribed upon the Temple of Apollo in the ancient Greek precinct of Delphi. While many people assume that Socrates or Plato invented it, the phrase has been attributed to ancient Greek thinkers from Heraclitus to Pythagoras. Historians are actually unsure of where it came from. The way to think about yourself: everything that has ever happened and will ever happen to you, everything you might become or accomplish, is not just influenced but determined by how you think. At the core of this thinking is your self-esteem. It's the lens through which you view the world, shaping your experiences, relationships and achievements. The most significant internal factor that influences our life experience is our self-esteem. This session will explore the subject in some detail, considering the importance of self-esteem in achieving long-term authentic happiness in the key areas of our lives. Self-esteem can be defined as the impression we hold of ourselves, which consequently influences our life experiences. Your self-concept. Your self-concept encompasses your complete set of beliefs about yourself, your life and the world. Your beliefs determine what becomes real for you. Those beliefs have been gathered from your parents, family, friends, teachers and others since early childhood. It's like holding on to a worn-out jacket that no longer fits. You might be clinging to certain beliefs even though they no longer exist. These beliefs determine what you consider to be real. They've been formed throughout your life, starting from your earliest childhood, and are influenced by your parents, family, friends, teachers and other experiences. By changing our beliefs in a particular area of life, we can experience positive change. Your overall self-concept can be called your major concept, whilst you also have a series of minor concepts that control your thoughts, behaviour and outcomes in different areas of your life. For instance, you may have a minor concept for each role, such as a parent, employee, friend, etc. You may also have minor concepts about how others perceive you, your parenting abilities, popularity, job performance, earning potential, physical appearance and how you respond to challenging situations. Each person carries a unique set of minor concepts as varied as their roles and thoughts about themselves. These concepts interweave like threads to create the fabric of our self-concept, making each of us as a unique and intricate masterpiece. Here are some examples of the minor concepts that you might have. One for each of the roles that you occupy. One for how you appear to other people. One for yourself as a parent. One for how popular you are, how good you are at your job, how much money you're capable of earning, how you look, how you perform in certain areas, how you respond to various situations. So what makes up the self-concept? Looking at the course notes, you'll see a Venn diagram of 3 circles that overlap. They all overlap with the central part, which contains self-concept. In each of the circles contains one of 3 distinctly separate parts, namely your self-ideal, your self-image and your self-esteem. Before you can truly discover your authentic self, you must be able to distinguish and separate the different parts of your self-concept, your self-image, your self-esteem and your ideal self, which we will discuss in a moment, so that you can more easily differentiate between who you would like to be, who you really are and how the differences affect you. So let's look at the different elements of the self-concept. Firstly, your self-ideal. This is your vision of who you want to be in every area of your life. Your ideal self is the perfect person you aspire to be, that you would want the world to see, with aspects of your personality you hope people will see first. Exceptionally happy individuals, both men and women, are empowered by their clear vision of their ideal selves. They do not just dream, but actively take steps every day towards accomplishing it. It follows that if you have a negative perspective of your self-ideal, you are likely to attract circumstances and people into your life that reflect that. People who allow themselves to remain unhappy over a prolonged period give little thought to the person they really want to become. They stop growing and evolving. Your self-image then. This is the real authentic you, as you are right now. It's the you that exists when nobody's watching. The real you as you are, that looks back at you from the mirror. If your image of your real self is underconfident in particular circumstances on a particular day, your outer behaviours will reflect your inner turmoil. When you think about yourself as you truly are, the image you see is the value you place upon yourself about a particular characteristic. So for this reason, the self-image could also be seen as your self-worth. It's perfectly possible to change your outward performance and behaviour by changing your mental pictures of your self-image. The final element of your self-concept is your self-esteem. If your self-ideal is how you ideally see yourself, and your self-image is how you actually see yourself, your self-esteem is how you feel about the gap between the two. This gap, however, is not a fixed state. It's a potential for personal growth and improvement, which can be a source of hope and motivation. Let's assume for a moment that the ideal way you see yourself is weighing 2 stones lighter than you do. That's your ideal self. The 2 stone lighter weight is your ideal self. Your real weight is your image of self as you actually are. In this example then, your self-esteem is represented by how you feel about that 2 stone difference, how you feel about yourself as you are right now. Look at the key areas of your personality: your confidence, your appearance, your fitness, your abilities, how you're loved by others. It's the difference between how you would like to be and how you see yourself that determines your level of self-esteem in these areas. If you see yourself ideally as someone loved and respected, and feel that you are neither loved nor respected as much as you deserve, your self-esteem will suffer. If you see yourself in excellent physical condition, with good health and a positive outlook, and in fact you're in peak condition with abundant good health and positive perspectives, it's likely that in this area your self-esteem will be high. The importance of your self-esteem cannot be understated. It's the key to your happiness and personal effectiveness, and represents the foundation of your performance in all areas of your life, relationships, career performance, health, finances, in fact every key area of your existence. Your self-esteem fuels your personality and your enthusiasm, which powers your accomplishments in life. Self-esteem is the emotional part of your personality. At its core, self-esteem is a profound belief in our inherent value and untapped potential. We know that we are important simply for being here. We believe we have a right to express ourselves and to be happy. We are sure that we have a purpose for living. We can have dignity and poise regardless of our physical appearance, financial status, possessions, occupation, accomplishments, and things we can't control, such as other people's opinions. Self-esteem is the collection of thoughts, images, beliefs, and physical habits corresponding to our perception and opinion of ourselves. Self-esteem manifests itself in our outer world. We know that we possess unique talents and perspectives that contribute to society. We have the right and responsibility to develop that potential. When creating our self-image, we were especially susceptible to the negative influence of others, the ridicule, insults, rejection and humiliation. As we grew up, we become less vulnerable to such attacks if we understand that we're responsible for our own self-worth. It isn't easy to have self-esteem without support from other people, at least from those we respect. If we value honesty and violate that value, we can damage our self-esteem. If we respond excessively or incorrectly when we correct the action, our self-esteem is restored and even enhanced because we've indicated that we are competent to live fairly and directly. We can question the values that were violated. We realise that our values are ineffective in enhancing our lives, so we change them. To summarise then the contents of the self-concept. Your self-image is the real, authentic you as you are right now. It's the you that exists when nobody's watching, the real you as you are that looks back at you from the mirror. Your ideal self is the perfect person that you aspire to be, that you would want the world to see. Your self-esteem then is how you feel about the gap between the two. Let's look at the impact of low self-esteem. If in a relationship you worked hard to overcome the other person's irresponsibility and insecurity, this codependent relationship negatively affects your self-esteem. If on the other hand you were dependent on another person to make the world seem right for you, your self-esteem was also hurt and damaged. Controlling behaviours, codependency and related issues directly result from low self-esteem. Irrational thinking may have led you to develop a negative self-image that lowered your self-esteem and made you feel bad about yourself. The repression and denial of feelings may have made it difficult to identify your true feelings today. Self-destructive behaviours both contribute to and are the result of low self-esteem. Many self-destructive behaviours, such as the overuse of alcohol, drugs, food, gambling or sex, may need specific and direct help to overcome. These behaviours require a lot of energy, persistence and self-love to deal with. It's almost impossible to eliminate these behaviours unless you fall in love with yourself, forgive yourself for your past and enhance your self-esteem. Recovering from low self-esteem. The recovery process to enhance self-esteem may seem arduous, but it's worth every ounce of your mental effort. You may have developed old habits which are hard to break. You may have fantasy dreams of the way things are supposed to be, and these dreams die hard. The path of recovery involves a lot of work and effort on your part. There are a lot of issues needing to be addressed, and a commitment to personal recovery is needed in order to keep the focus clear and direct. The first step in the recovery process is to address the distorted thinking, feelings and behaviours resulting from your low self-esteem. To correct your thinking, you'll need to stand back from your life and beliefs to learn what normal is and get in touch with reality in your life. You'll need to dispel your irrational beliefs. Albert Einstein said, "You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it. To solve a problem, you must first have to see it with clarity." See the Session 8 ebook for full details on the impact of and recovery from low self-esteem. This session concludes with transformational exercise number 7, how healthy is your self-esteem? Now it's time to see how healthy your self-esteem is now. Only you will see the results, so be completely honest with yourself. Refer to the course notes for guidance in completing this exercise. Once you've identified your current situation, you can determine your desired future state and how to get there. The test on the pages within the course notes is a simple assessment of your general levels of self-esteem. Read each of the 30 statements that are contained within the exercise on the course notes and enter a score for each that is most true for you, whether it's never, rarely, sometimes, frequently or always. Remember that whether your results reflect high or low self-esteem, individual questions may indicate an area where self-esteem is or may become an issue. It's an interesting exercise. Both partners in a relationship can complete this twice, once about themselves and once about their perception of each other. The degree of difference between your scoring for yourself and the score your partner gives you is an indicator of the levels of communication that exist between the two of you in your relationship.